What is ethics? Things are called ethical or unethical. Sometimes moral or immoral. But what do we mean by them? See, how can we go about this? Take a hunting-gathering society. People are moving in bands. A person is very sick, not able to walk. So when a band is moving to a different place, should one carry him or should one be discarded and the band move on? Discard a person or not? If a family member wants to carry, the other band members say, no, that is not proper, that is not ethical, because he is too sick and you should drop him here itself. Okay. In another case, say there are two tribes fighting with each other, or two clans fighting within a tribe. Your brother, you belong to clan 1, is killed by a member of clan 2. Should you go and kill his brother? And if you don't kill, then it may not be considered right. You are not doing justice to your brother who is killed. Okay. Or take a polyandrous society. Polyandrous society where brothers marry one or more than one woman. So if one brother refuses to share his wife with other brothers, then he may be considered very unethical. So, ethical or unethical refers to right, wrong. And I gave you the instances where we are not likely to regard them what they regard as unethical. We are not likely to regard them as ethical. So what it means is that what is ethical or what is right keeps changing with times. So what is ethical keeps changing. What is ethical to hunting-gathering society is different from what is ethical to pastoralist society or polyandrous society. So, what is ethical keeps changing. Why does it change? Because right and wrong, whether something is right and wrong depends upon certain values. Certain values. Values are many, whereas ethical and unethical is only one. So something is called ethical when sufficient number of values are realized or important values are realized. These values keep changing with times. So values keep changing, because of which what is regarded ethical keeps changing. Why do values change? Values is a product of economy, political system, technology. So when economic and political systems change, values change, and when values change, what is regarded as ethical also changes. But across these changes, there may be certain values, and indeed there are certain values which are not context specific. Across the cultures, there are certain constant values. Deception hurts. Deception hurts independent of economy probably, or at least the extent that it hurts may vary as per economy, but it does hurt. So what is ethics keeps changing, and what are values keeps changing. And social scientists study how values change. And so what and when something becomes ethical. And if there are some universal values, and if there are certain universal values, why they have become universal? And if they are changing, why they are changing? And more importantly, some social scientists ask how they should change. So how they are changing, why they are changing, and how they should change. What are universal, what are context specific? All this is more specifically studied in what is called moral philosophy. Moral philosophy as a part of philosophy. So ethics is actually moral philosophy. It is a part of philosophy. Okay. So this is the link between ethics and values. Okay. And how are these values conveyed to members of society? Mostly through socialization. Mostly through socialization. The society, members, these values are inculcated. Okay. So whatever be the kind of economy or polity, values are usually inculcated through socialization process. Inculcated. Through reward and punishment system. Values realized, reward. Values not realized, punished. And when the deviation from values is much more than what the society can tolerate, society will choose to punish. That is called law. So legality is not ethicality. Legality is when the society chooses to punish violation of a value. Okay. And values come through religion, tradition, general parenting, education, media. In all these ways, religion is a source of values, education, media, parenting. These are all sources of values. So, this is how normally values are inculcated. And those who are following those values are respected, rewarded, and those who are not following those values are punished or not respected. So this is how values, law, religion, socialization are linked. If values are being inculcated through variety of sources, why should there be education of ethics? We'll discuss. In recent years, there is a proposal that issues of ethics cannot be left only to the philosophers, but many people should learn, should study ethics. Why is it so? If you are studying ethics, if you are studying emergence of various values, so far values are unconsciously, unthinkingly internalized in the population without questioning. Religion links them to sin, heaven and hell. Tradition links them to good, simply good and bad. There is not so much of reflection. But now, many universities, many countries are going for ethics education. Why is it so? The problem in modern world is that values were coming from past, whereas the world is changing. Social change is very fast. When the society is changing very fast, we don't know which values are appropriate, inappropriate, or we should take to modern values, more new values. And second thing is that different cultures are intermixing, and each culture is coming up with its own set of values. So when people are mixing, what should be the new values? What should be the values? An MNC from one country, originated in one country, is doing business in a completely different country, and people of this MNC have one set of values, and the people of the country in which it is going to do business have another set of values. So how does this MNC have to deal with that country? So globalization, intermixing, and fast change is giving a shock in terms of what to do and what not to do. And also, there is perception that education on the whole gave skill set and knowledge, but it hasn't made the people ethical. And there is perception, probably if these values are reflected on and consciously worked on, then personal may be ethical. So, ethics education is about making the people reflect on values, to choose values, to see whether something is right or wrong, whether some values are being realized, whereas some values are not being realized, or we are violating those values. And so finally, how do we make the decisions? So fast change, intermixture, and also regarding that the man should be more ethical. So is this a good proposal? Yes, very much. Because after all, values constitute the core of human behavior. We have some values. So instead of simply subjecting ourselves to society's influence, conscious reflection enables us to see how we are realizing these values and where they cannot be realized, and how there are ethical problems or dilemmas, and how we should deal with them, and also make us more aware of new values we may need and old values that we should discard. So ethics education is a proposal and should be a proposal for reflection, for updating, for introduction of new values, for discarding of certain values, and to examine the entire value system, and why we do what we do and what we should do. So this in general is about ethics, but we will see what is ethics paper in the context of UPSC exam. UPSC says syllabus is ethics, integrity and aptitude. This is GS4, and its syllabus says this paper is introduced in 2013, and it says ethics and human interface, human values, attitude, aptitude and values for civil service, emotional intelligence, contributions of moral thinkers and philosophers, public and civil service values, probity in governance, case studies. See, going by the syllabus, ethics as per UPSC is really wide, which includes various issues and conflicts faced by candidate in dealing with society. So going by the syllabus, it is very wide. It is worded as ethics, integrity and aptitude. So it did start with some amount of questions on a wider scale. But as of now, UPSC finally made this paper, more particularly going by last 2-3 years, 2018, 2019, by these recent years, you can say ethics as per UPSC is administrative ethics. Administrative ethics or public service ethics. Public service ethics. According to the syllabus, the civil service or administrative ethics is supposed to constitute only 1/3. But going by the previous papers, the entire paper is becoming more like administrative ethics. So this is one thing that we need to know. We are not learning ethics in general. We may learn, but the focus is on administrative ethics. Okay. Where do you place this administrative ethics in the entire ethics? I can give you a framework which is used in one book. The ethics can be divided in terms of personal level, organizational level, and societal level. POS. Personal level, organizational level, and societal level. This can be called micro, this is called macro, and this is called meso. It is individuals contribute to organizations, and it is these organizations that make up society. Okay. So, where is the focus of UPSC? UPSC focus is on meso. It is on organization. This is about organizational ethics. And next, within the organizational ethics, organizations can be public, can be private. Within the meso level, UPSC focus is on public. So, our paper is on public sector ethics. So, why do we need to know the bigger picture? Because it is the personal ethics that contribute to organizational ethics, and organizational ethics contribute to society. And this also raises the question, because we are finally thinking in terms of ethics related to modern public sector. What are those ethics? The ethics here, or the values here, are supposed to be the values that we have formally given to the society. Here I mean India, more particularly nation. By society here is Indian nation. And Indian nation has formally accepted certain values. And what are those values? Constitution, as stated in preamble. It means our focus is narrowed. It is all about how the public institutions are involved in realizing the values stated in the Constitution. How organizations are contributing to the realization of constitutional goals or even working against them. Okay. And how individual orientations and socialization of individuals contribute to realization of organizational goals, and how realization of organizational values contribute to realization of national values. And if there is a conflict, what is the conflict between personal values and organizational values? And conflict between organizational values and society's values? And what are the kinds of organizations involved? Schools, hospitals, universities, army, police, collectorate, revenue department, IRS, CBI. All these are organizations. How do they contribute to the realization of constitutional goals? Okay, so how we should go about them, where we are failing, and how we should do. Okay, so this paper almost fixes values. Values are almost fixed, and it locates the focus, and then around this certain issues are raised. The good and bad, ethical and unethical. What is the criteria of the judgment? And if it is not met, how we should go about them. So, this is what ethics paper is about. Thank you.